Well, in terms of the payment for those being evacuated, why are people being charged for that evacuation? Is this something that the government should provide an Australian citizen caught up in trouble? It's not like they've gone to somewhere that you've advised not to go. They're simply carrying out their business and being caught up in it inadvertently.
Kieran, a couple of points. I mean, most people will have paid much more than that for a return commercial flight in any case. Some of them have got travel insurance, as I understand, and already got refunds for their commercial flight that they otherwise would have taken. There is also a precedent, as I'm advised from DFAT, that in circumstances before people have paid an amount of money, and the fact is that it's a charter flight and there'll be a significant expense to the Australian taxpayer. So in the circumstance where the vast majority of these people will have been will have either paid or had intended to pay a commercial rate to return home, I don't think it's inappropriate that there is that charge, that there is recovery at least of some of the cost that we're expending for the charter flight. I think that's a common sense position. If there are extenuating circumstances, we'll look at those individual circumstances, of course, but I think for most people they will have been returning back commercially and they would have expected to pay something in the order of that $1,000 to return anyway.
Indonesia, Japan, South Korea, the EU, UK, USA, they all had evacuation flights arranged with China before Australia. There have been some concerns that the hold-up was because of our recent poor relations between the two countries. Is that a fair concern?
No, not the case at all. And we had in-depth discussions in the NSC about this planning and about the way in which we would stage the assisted removal of these people. And but we need to go through a process in China. We need to get approval from the Chinese authorities. That's their sovereign right, as you would understand. In the case of the United States, as I understand, that they haven't lifted US citizens out. They took 157 consulate staff, given that they had quite a large number of staff in that province. And they lifted those staff on a military aircraft, took them to Alaska, where they're in isolation there, and then they returned back to their homes in the United States. So again, I'm not sure that's factually correct, the way in which some people are interpreting that. I think DFAT's acted entirely appropriately.
We're not doing that. The Department of Foreign Affairs have said publicly that they provided the incorrect information originally, particularly about the arrangements that were in place when people came out of Cairo during the Arab Spring.
Well, the Prime Minister was saying this just the other day at a press conference, that this is the standard rule, this is what happened when people were evacuated from the Middle East, so he was wrong.
Well, he was provided with incorrect advice about those commercial arrangements. We won't be charging. Those people will be able to come to Australia without a cost incurred.